Hey, it's Catherine Franke. It's May 5th, and this is today's installment of Can He Do That? Is that legal? So a couple of days ago, President Trump posted something, tweeted, whatever they call it, on Truth Social, that we are going to be taking away Harvard's tax-exempt status. It's what they deserve. So can he do that? Can he go after Harvard, Columbia, other universities and pull their nonprofit status as educational institutions that they have enjoyed during their entire time as educational institutions as a way to punish them? In the case of Harvard, he is clearly and openly saying, I am going to weaponize the IRS to conduct an audit and pull your nonprofit status as a way to punish you because you're not going along with our political agenda the way that, say, Columbia has. So can he do that? No. And this goes back to Richard Nixon, really. Nixon was well known to use all of, whether it's the FBI, the IRS, many instruments of government to punish his enemies list. Even though during the Watergate period, when things were getting pretty hot for President Nixon, in August of 1973, he delivered what was called his second Watergate speech.
In a free society, the institutions of government belong to the people. They must never be used against the people. And in the future, my administration will be more vigilant in ensuring that such abuses do not take place, and that officials at every level understand that they are not to take place.
So everyone knew this was a lie, just as everything else he said about Watergate was a lie. And Congress resolved that it would change the tax laws so that the executive, the president, and anyone in the president's team could not weaponize the IRS to pull 501c3 or nonprofit status of institutions that the president didn't like. It took him 25 years to do it, but in 1998, Congress amended the tax laws and included a section that's entitled Prohibition on Executive Branch Influence over Taxpayer Audits and Other Investigations. So what this says is that the president, the vice president, or any employee of the executive office of the president may not request directly or indirectly any officer or employee of the Internal Revenue Service to conduct or terminate an audit or other investigation of any particular taxpayer with respect to the tax liability of such taxpayer. So this includes both criminal and financial penalties, both to the president or the vice president or anybody at the IRS who complies with what is an otherwise illegal order from the executive office. So what Trump put out on Truth Social the other day is illegal. And what's quite even more astonishing, and it's hard to be astonished these days with things he's doing, is this, that as courts have interpreted this section of the Internal Revenue Code that says you can't weaponize the IRS against your political enemies, the courts have used, by and large, a pretty high standard of proof to show that an audit or some action by the IRS is politically motivated. I mean, a lot of companies, a lot of entities that are in tax trouble would say, "Oh, this is political," and the courts have said, "No, we have a very high burden here to show that this is the political weaponization of the IRS." But in this case, no matter what the standard, Trump has basically admitted in public that we are weaponizing the IRS as one of the tools in our toolkit, just like we've used the immigration laws against students whose speech we don't agree with. We're going to do that with institutions that enjoy nonprofit status like Harvard. So he can say all he wants, but this is an easy one for the federal courts to say, no, you can't pull Harvard's nonprofit status as a way to punish them. So that's clear.